my channel. If this is your first time seeing any of my videos, my name is Bwandungi and I talk about writing, I talk about books, I talk about life with members of my family. Sometimes there is a playlist somewhere. I will link it in the description box below. If you do not know, I am a writer of speculative fiction that typically features people of African descent because I grew up in Uganda and because I'm a fan of science fiction and fantasy and speculative fiction, if you'd like to call it that. What I want to do today is have a conversation with you, and it's weird saying a conversation, but I'd love for you to talk back to me in the comment section below if you have any thoughts on any of the things that I'm going to be saying. One of the things that I would like to do in this video is talk about some of the things that I'm coming up against when I'm writing my story. I'm going to try and make this video short, but I have some things that I'd like to talk to you about. And oh my god, they have been on my heart in ways that I didn't really understand. Now that I have a bit more insight into where my heart and my head are, I want to share these things with you as part of taking you along with me on my journey to write my book, to complete my writing project. The first one is writing darkness into the story. The kind of darkness that I'm talking about is the one that destroys a person's soul or takes away their humanity, whether it is caused by an antagonist who's a human being or spirit or whatever, or whether it is caused by themselves. I found that as I grew older, I couldn't take some of the violence that is perpetrated against human beings, like human being to human being violence. Things that we have read about in history that have been perpetuated by violent people. I just find that I can't continue to watch shows that go to places like that where someone's humanity is being stripped off their bones almost. That this person, the protagonist or somebody in the cast, is completely destroyed as a human being. I have a difficult time focusing on the story when that is going on. The Walking Dead, for example, there was so much head cutting offness. Westworld, I didn't recognize what was happening when I was watching Westworld until I got towards the end, and then I was curious about how the characters were going to be aware of themselves that I didn't stop watching it. But there are these violent human beings who live in a world where they cannot perpetrate violence against another human being and just get away with it. And so they go into this cowboy style, Old West, where they can be cruel and kill people wantonly. And it doesn't matter that these are androids and you're not really harming a person who came out of another person's vagina. They are getting some kind of satisfaction out of torturing and killing something that looks and acts like a human being. Surprisingly, over the weekend, I tried to watch Orange is the New Black and I couldn't watch it. I couldn't finish the first episode because so much violence is being brought upon these women in a prison system where they do not have rights anyway. We all know these things are happening in the prison system, and to be honest, I'm okay sort of reading a headline about it, but I will never go into detail about how women or men in prisons are being treated and how they're being dehumanized. I just don't have the taste for it anymore, and I wondered what that is going to do to my writing. Like, how am I going to be able to write a scene where somebody's humanity is being stripped away? Am I just looking for a happy ending in stories? Of what am I looking for as I write? It's become a sticking point for me, and I don't know what to do about that. How to embrace the darkness in order to write it. The second thing is that I'm having difficulty championing stuff. This is sort of what I mean by that. I will be writing and then I recognize that somebody is part of a minority group and they are being discriminated against, and then there's a part of me that is fighting the urge to continue writing the story in that way. As a Black woman living in this world, do I have an obligation to champion causes for humanity in my work? Is my writing affected by the things that I'm reading in the media, that I'm thinking about? Instances where I go through the world and experience something that is a direct result of my gender or the color of my skin. Is that what is happening here? That my story gets infected by the experiences that I'm having, the news that I'm watching? What is going on and why am I fighting it? These are some of the questions that African authors have asked of themselves. Do you have to write about the political situation in your country? Does your writing have to have a commentary on dictatorship dictatorship or corruption or AIDS? Or on the other hand, don't we have an obligation to say some of these things? Can we divorce ourselves from the things that we experience in our bodies, in our minds, in our countries, in our homes? Aren't they commentaries on our lives anyway? I don't know the answer to that. It's something that I'm just struggling with myself. The thing also that is happening is that I love princesses. I love skilled female officers who are full of bravery and courage and can protect kingdoms and go out and have ginormous adventures. I'm a fan of those things. But you know what I want? I want something magical and adventurous to happen to an ordinary person. They don't have any magical gifts. They don't have any particular talents. They're not the smartest. They're not the most beautiful. And yet they have this amazing adventure where they discover things in themselves that they didn't think they had before. I am struck with this yearning for a story like that, and my story is not that. I do have a story, sort of an ordinary woman having an experience that she wouldn't have had if she wasn't a fan of science fiction, but even that sort of puts her in a different category. It's on Wattpad, and the link will be in the description box below if you are interested in seeing it at all. But I don't know what to do with that yearning. The fourth thing is that the planning has gotten totally and completely out of control. Okay, so this is the backstory. I'm a pantster, and what that means is that I will just write. As I continue writing, the story inspires me to go in this particular direction, and then I go that direction, and then an idea pops into my head and I follow it. So I'm just writing stuff out. But I decided that I would try outlining and see whether that would help me complete my writing project. Outlining means that you've got to plan. I knew that the planning had gotten out of control when I bought a new notebook. Yes, I did. The other telltale sign is that I'm pinning stuff like a crazy person. I'm on Pinterest. Ooh, this character looks great. Ooh, this other person maybe will wear those kind of clothes. Ooh, this person can look like this. Ah, they can live in this particular... It has gone nuts. I'm pinning all day. No more pinning. Also, I tend to read a lot and make excuses for reading because I am studying the craft of writing. Have you heard that one before? So now I'm stuck in books. Like I have 3 books going at once. It's crazy out here. I'm telling you, I need saving. The character questionnaires have become like a scroll. You know those old scrolls that you just hold up and like tossed it? That is what my character questionnaires are. 376 questions to answer about a character so that I can understand how to write them. Really? I know that is much, but there you go. That's how I know. And then finally, guess what I found online on GitHub? If someone went ahead and created a program that will allow you to map your fantasy world. Yes! So you can choose the number of cultures, the number of countries. You can choose the relief, how many mountains there are. Is this an atoll? Is it a volcanic island? Oh my god! You do not know how long I spent last night trying to figure out what my fantasy world looked like. Really? I will leave it in the description box below only because it's so fascinating. So anyway, that is what has been going on with me and my writing. If you have any comments, any suggestions for the kind of things that you do to get back on track, to get back to working on your story, please leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to know. Don't forget to check out my story about the ordinary woman having an adventure and also the GitHub fantasy world creation. That was so cool! And if you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. The subscribe button is down here. And don't forget to click the notifications button so that the next time I upload a new video, you get a notification. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share this video with anyone who you think might gain value from it. Have a lovely the rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!